What's up? We're here today in New York City to check out the Social Good Summit at the 92nd Street Y. I'm here today with Amaya, our high school student from New Milford High School, also a member of the New Milford HypeLite Club. We have some amazing speakers from people from all over the world meeting together at one place at 92nd Street Y to talk about how we can make positive change in the future for tomorrow and for today.
Even when you feel like I'm down, all my people gotta keep on. All my people gotta keep on. Let's stay strong. Shout out to my people, we are royalty. Shining like gold from our head to our toe. The power we hold can never be sold. Truth be told, all around and low. So that you know, we went home.
I knew that I want to help in my community. I knew that I want to use my voice to speak up for all the kids that couldn't speak up and fight for themselves. So that's exactly what I did. Convincing my mom to go out to marches and protest when it was bitter cold outside and snow up to our knees wasn't easy, but I knew that that was something I needed to do. Nobody seemed to be listening to the adults, but I knew that eventually they're listening to me. And they did. It took a long time to get people to actually listen and take me seriously. After all, a lot of grown-ups seem to think that kids need to stay in a child's place and that we are not allowed to have an opinion. But I never let any of that negativity stop me from fighting the kids of Flint and now kids all over the country. My name is Mari Courtney, I'm 11 years old, and I'm a Flint kid. And don't forget all Flint and vote for me in president in 2044!
For me, it's always been respond to what makes you feel most despair. And it could be more than one thing. But I really believe that we can use our voice and our line of work, whatever it may be, whether we're teachers or we're graphic designers or scientists. It doesn't matter what our vocation in life is, but we can use what we do to make a difference.
Also wanted to ask you how you see millennials in movements such as the Never Again movement exhibiting the New Power ideology.
So look, when I grew up, I'm 41, and so when I grew up, if I wanted to engage in the world, I could call my local radio station and try and get on the radio, or I could write a letter to my local newspaper. That was essentially the way I could participate with the world. You look at kids like the Never Again students, and they have this amazing connectivity, connecting people with that movement. It's spread around the world in days, but they also have an expectation of participation. They expect to be able to engage in the world. So I think the opportunity, if you're thinking about building movements, is there are all these people out there who want to be invited into a conversation, and if, like the Never Again kids, you can understand how to get that right, you can shift outcomes hugely in your favor.
Here with Asha Karan, the Chief Innovation Officer of the Belfour Center here at 92nd Street Y. My first question would be for you is, what kind of planning and preparation goes into something like this event, the Social Good Summit, and thought and anything you can share with us?
Sure. Well, thanks, Will, and you are one of our standout Giving Tuesday leaders, so I'm so happy to see you here. The Social Good Summit was actually started before Giving Tuesday. So it was one of our first innovation programs here at the Y. And the idea was that UN Week, the UN General Assembly, which is happening at the actual United Nations, is this very, very closed, inaccessible event where heads of state and top old media go and they have closed door conversations. And it's about the rest of the world, what they're talking about, but the rest of the world is shut out of those conversations at the same time. So what we wanted to do was to create an event for UN Week that the whole world was invited to, and where we talked about where global development and big global challenges and technology meet. Because we felt like at the time there wasn't enough attention being paid to the fact that technology was changing everything. It's changing everything about the way we connect and the way we communicate and the way we consume, the way we give, right? But also changing everything about the way big global challenges are handled. And so that was the genesis behind this summit, which brings together heads of state and influencers and young activists and all the people in the generation who are going to be solving those big problems going forward.
Something like 50 million don't have access to education. And that is crazy to me. So whether you're in Nigeria and Boko Haram is there, or whether you are in a village in India or in, Afghanistan, all those young girls and boys, if they're gay or straight or whatever, should deserve the same access to soccer, to the violin, to mathematics tutoring if they need it. Because that's better for all of us. If your child in Brazil has a better education, it's better for my child in the United States, because we're all connected. And so sooner or later, even if it's not in your backyard, it's going to be in your water, it's going to be in your air, and it's going to be in your laws. So I better be concerned about that child in Brazil, because it is like my child. That child is my child in a way. And that's how I think I've always seen the world.
I believe in opportunity and education, also in your family's upbringing, because once you have an opportunity and you see yourself growing from that, you make it work. You make something for yourself, An opportunity rare at times, it's really hard. And sometimes when you go to places, the diversity is not enough, which affects your self-esteem. And so if you are not fully prepared, the first thing you do is give up. You are not part of it because you don't feel included. And inclusion is something that we have to work in our world right now. It has to be inclusive so everybody has the opportunity.
Working on the internet has really allowed me to understand people that are younger than me. I still will not be able to fully experience what they go through on a day-to-day basis, but I understand the overall picture of you cannot be an adult and assume you know what it's like to be a youth in today's age. Because let's be real, any adult today did not have social media when they were growing up. They did not have all the things that kids have access to these days. The perfect example I can give you is when on my recent trip to South Africa, one of the initiatives there is, okay, we want people to practice safe sex. We're gonna put condoms in this pharmacy. And a bunch of adults came about and said, this is a great solution, we're gonna do this. Well, why is there still such a crisis? And all it took was asking the kids, like, hey, why is this not working? And the kids will have a list of reasons. Well, the pharmacist judges you. Everyone gets made fun of when you walk in there. There's such a stigma attached to getting caught. Our boyfriends don't want to talk about this. You would not know those issues if you don't involve kids in the conversation. So I think it's important to remember that no decision should be made about kids without kids.
Exactly. Amen.
Social Good Summit. Hashtag 2030 now.